Hello everyone, I am Cricoder and in this video I will be doing a review of match 19 between Lucknow Super Giants and Gujarat Titans. So this match was played at the Ekana Stadium in Lucknow and it was a 3:30 p.m. game. So GT won the toss and decided to bowl first. They restricted Lucknow to just 164 and then they chased down this total in 18.4 overs. So it was a low scoring match and GT had a good performance with the ball. Prasidh Krishna was the player of the match for his excellent figures of 4 overs, 4 for 28. So before this match, LSG made a change to their squad, bringing in George Linde, the South African spinner, in place of Wanindu Hasaranga. So Hasaranga was ruled out after he failed to recover in time and did not complete the mandatory fitness test required by Sri Lanka cricket to obtain the NOC. Also, this game will be the only time these two teams will play each other in this particular season unless they meet in the playoffs. So let's start with the playing 11. So for LSG, there was just a single change with George Linde coming in place of Manimaran Siddharth, and he was used as the impact sub and came in the first inning itself at the end of the innings when LSG lost the wickets. He came in place of Ayush Badoni. So GT didn't make any changes in the 11 and Shah Rukh Khan came in as the impact sub in place of Mohammad Siraj. Now let's start with the first innings. So, Mohammad Siraj started the innings well, giving away just 4 runs in his first over. But then Rabada, he was welcomed with Mitchell Marsh with a 6 and a 4. But then Rabada made a comeback, got the wicket of Mitchell Marsh on the next ball. Then Rishabh Pant charged down the wicket and hit a 4 over mid-on in that same over. Makram finished the over with another 4, scoring 19 runs in Rabada's over. Rishabh Pant looked very good as he hit a beautiful cover drive to Siraj in the next over. Again, Rabada's next over went for 15 runs as Rishabh Pant hit a 6 and Markram hit 2 fours. Rabada was very expensive in his 2 overs, whereas Siraj bowled very good in his 2 overs. In the next over, Mohammad Siraj got the wicket of LSG captain Rishabh Pant. Then Ashok Sharma came into the attack and gave away 12 runs with Aidan Markram hitting a 6 over mid-on and Ayush Badoni hitting a 4. At the end of the power play, LSG were 60 for 2 and were looking good to put up a big score on board. Then in the next over, the player of the match, Prasidh Krishna, came into the attack and he took the wicket of Aidan Markram after being hit for 2 fours. This started the choke from GT on the LSG batters as Rashid Khan came into the attack in the next over. Prasidh Krishna got the wicket of Ayush Badoni in his second over and Rashid bowled 2 good overs giving away just 8 runs. Then Ashok Sharma bowled a good over giving just 3 runs with Rashid Khan continuing the stranglehold on the LSG batters with another 4-run over. In these 6 runs after the power play, LSG managed to score just 27 runs with Rashid giving away just 12 in his 3 overs. Samad was batting on 9 from 14 and Puran was on 5 from 11. Because they had lost 4 wickets, they were just trying to play out the overs rather than scoring runs. Then Kagiso Rabada, with expensive figures of 2 overs, 1 for 34, came into the attack. He was again attacked by the LSG batters with Abdul Samad hitting 2 fours and scoring 9 runs in the over. This was the first boundary after the 7th over. Then Puran spoiled the outstanding figures of Rashid Khan by hitting two sixes in his over, scoring 13 runs of that over. On the last ball of Rashid's over, Samad just punched the ball towards Rashid, but he could not hold on to the catch after diving to his right. Then Prasidh Krishna ended Puran's innings and gave away just one run. Then in the 17th over, Ashok Sharma got the wicket of Abdul Samad, and LSG brought the impact sub George Linde in place of Badoni. GT also brought Shah Rukh Khan in place for Mohammad Siraj, who finished his 4 overs with figures of 1 for 19. Again, Kagiso Rabada went for 11 runs with Mukul Chaudhary hitting a 6. Rabada was expensive in this match, going at 13.5 runs per over in his 4 overs. In the next over, Prasidh Krishna got the wicket of Mukul, but Linde and Mohammad Shami hit 3 fours and scored 15 runs in the over. LSG finished well, scoring 18 runs in the last over, bowled by Ashok Sharma, with Mohammad Shami hitting a 6, Avesh and George Linde both hitting a 4 each. LSG finished with a total of 164 for 8. Now let's go through the first innings scoreboard. Aiden Makram 30 of 21, Mitchell Marsh 11 of 4, Rishabh Pant 18 of 11, Ayush Badoni 9 from 11, Nicholas Puran 19 from 21 balls, Abdul Samad 18 from 22, Mukul Chaudhary 18 from 14, George Linde 16 from 10, Shami 12 of just 5, and Avesh Khan 4 of 1. In the bowling, Mohammad Siraj 4 overs 1 for 19, Kagiso Rabada 4 overs 1 for 54, Ashok Sharma 4 overs 2 for 32, Prasidh Krishna 4 overs 4 for 28, and Rashid Khan 4 overs 0 for 25. So LSG finished at a score of 164 for 8 in 20 overs with a run rate of just 8.2. There were 9 extras in the innings, which had 1 by, 5 leg byes and 3 wides. In the second innings, GT started very confidently, hitting 3 fours in the first 2 overs from Mohammad Shami and Prince Yadav. In the third over, Shami looked unhappy with something and had signaled to their physio and went off the field after completing the over. Prince Yadav bowled a good 4th over, giving away just 6 runs. Mohammad Shami came back to bowl in the next over, but Shubman Gill hammered him for 20 runs, hitting 3 fours and a 6 in that over. This over gave GT the momentum, as before this over they were scoring at around run a ball, but in the next over they lost a wicket of Sai Sudarshan of the bowling of Digvesh Rathi. GT finished the power play with 52 for 1 with Josh Butler and Shubman Gill in the middle. George Linde on his IPL debut came into bowl the next over, and both the batters hit a boundary each to score 12 runs in the over. Digvesh Rathi bowled a good over, giving away just 5 runs. Again, similar to his first over, Linde was hit for 2 fours by both the batters. GT were looking very solid as they were hitting a boundary in each over and then rotating the strike. The required run rate was just below 8 and they were not taking any undue risks. In the 12th over of Avesh Khan, Gill reached to his 50 of just 34 deliveries. In the same over, Josh Butler hit 3 fours on the last 3 balls, scoring 16 runs in the over. In the 15th over, Josh Butler brought up his 150 in the T20 cricket. GT needed only 37 runs from the last 6 overs and were looking very strong to finish it early with both set batters batting at the crease. But in the next 2 overs, both the batters were sent back as Prince Yadav and Mohammad Shami took a wicket each. GT needed 29 runs of 24 balls with Washington Sundar and Rahul Tewatia at the crease. Since 2 left-handers were at the crease, Pant gave the ball to Aiden Markram and the over went for 9 runs. Sundar hit a 6 and a 4 in the next over of Prince Yadav to bring the equation down to just 6 runs from 12 deliveries. Markram continued his spell, and on the first ball, Puran dropped a catch of Rahul Tewatia. Puran came running from the boundary and dived forward to take the catch, but he couldn't hold on to it. And to make things worse, the ball went away for a boundary. Puran could have stopped the four, but he immediately didn't go after the ball. At the start, he waited as he thought that the ball would go for a boundary, but the ball slowed down and then he went after the ball. Eventually, the ball winning the race and going for a boundary. Then GT finished the chase on the fourth ball of the over, getting the win and the 2 points. Now let's go through the scoreboard. Sai Sudarshan 15 from 14, Shubman Gill 56 of 40, Josh Butler 60 from 37 with 11 fours, Washington Sundar not out on 21 of 13, and Rahul Tewatia not out on 10 from 8. In the bowling for LSG, Mohammad Shami 4 overs, 1 for 36, Prince Yadav 4 overs, 1 for 31, Digvesh Rathi 4 overs, 1 for 31, George Linde on his debut 3 overs, 0 for 28, Avesh Khan 2 overs, 0 for 24, and Eden Makram 1.4 overs, 0 for 15. GT finished with the score of 165 for 3 in 18.4 overs at the run rate of 8.84, and there were only 3 extras, with all of them being wides. Now let's go through the fall of wickets. So for LSG, Mitchell Marsh got out on the second over of the bowling of Rabada. Shubman Gill took the catch. Then Rishabh Pant got out in the fifth over of Mohammad Siraj, Rahul Tewatia taking the catch. The ball went up in the air and Tewatia took a good catch in the circle. Then Aiden Makram trying to hit Prasidh Krishna for a six got caught out on the boundary by Washington Sundar. Ayush Badoni again got out in the deep, the bowling of Prasidh Krishna by Ben Phillips. Then Puran uh, got out again to Prasidh Krishna in the 15th over with Shubman Gill taking the catch. Abdul Samad got out in the 17th over with Ashok Sharma bowling and Phillips taking a catch. Then Mukul Chaudhary got out on the 19th over on 131 with Prasidh Krishna bowling and Josh Butler taking the catch. He bowled a good slow ball bouncer, taking it behind to Butler. Then George Lende, the last wicket to fall, went out in the 20th over at 157 on the bowling of Ashok Sharma with Shahrukh Khan taking the catch. Then for GT, there were only 3 wickets which fell with Sai Sudarshan, the first one going in the 6th over at 45 with Digvesh Rathi getting the wicket and Avesh Khan taking a simple catch at short fine leg. When Sudarshan was looking to sweep and just got it to in the hands of it into the hands of short fine leg. Shubman Gill got out in the 15th over on the bowling of Prince Yadav with Rishabh Pant taking the catch. Then Josh Butler got out on the 16th over on the bowling of Mohammad Shami with Aiden Makram taking the catch. Then let's look at the top partnerships in the match. Then for LSG, the highest partnership was just of 35 of 37 deliveries. So it was less than a runner ball with Puran and Samad, with Puran scoring 17 of 18 and Samad scoring 17 of 19. Then in that there was a partnership of 31 of just 16 deliveries with Makram and Pant, with Makram scoring 13 of 5 and Pant scoring 18 of 11. There were 24 and 26 run partnerships, but there was not a single big partnership in the innings. So for GT, there was a big partnership of 84 between Josh Butler and Shubman Gill. Just 58 deliveries. Josh Butler scoring majority of the runs with 56 of 35, and Shubman Gill scoring just around run a ball 26 of 23. Then the second highest partnership was of 45 of 31, the opening partnership between Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan. And to end the innings, there was an unbeaten partnership of 30 from 18 between Tewatia and Washington Sundar. Now let's look at the graphs. So for the worm, you see, so LSG they started very strongly, and their worm was higher than the GT won, but after the ninth over mark where they lost Ayush Baduni, so their graph, warm graph kind of dipped down, and it kind of later picked up uh, after the 15th over and went up straight. But no, that period between the 8th or 7th to 15th over, the middle overs, so that time they kind of struggled with the bat and didn't score much runs. But on the other hand, if you look at the GT worm, it was below the LSG worm till about 9th over. Then it picked up, and that scoring rate improved. Where at this time they had only one wicket down with Butler and Gill batting, so they kind of started attacking at the end, and they kind of finished the game very well. They lost these two wickets, Gill and Butler, but then they didn't need too many runs to finish the game very well. So in the run rate graph also you can see LSG's run rate being very high, close to about 10 to 12 in between that in the start in the power play, whereas the GT graph you can see it was below 10 in the power play, but it was according to the required run rate, and they kind of finished the run rate at that same particular run rate from the fifth over to the finish. They kind of maintained it between 8 and 10, around 9. And whereas for LSG, the run rate came down from 10 in the power play to 7.25 the 12th over, which kind of hurt them. So now if we look at the Manhattan, so for LSG, if we look, there were couple of big overs in the power play, but in the middle overs from 8 to 12, the five overs went for very low runs, below 5 each of the over, and the total 18 runs were scored in these 5 overs. So they had many such overs like these five were there, then another one with the 3 runs scored, and the opening one was just 4 runs. Then at the end, 2 overs were below 5. So in total, they had 9 overs which were below 5. They finished the innings well with 11, 15, and 18 runs coming in the last 3 overs. But those middle overs kind of hurt them. If we look at the GT Manhattan, so GT started sensibly. They didn't need much runs on to chase. They started with as per the required run rate, and they had one good over of 20 in the power play, which kind of changed the momentum in their favor. And they had they were going at the required run rate and didn't need to do much as the required run rate was just around 8 runs per over. So if we look at both the Manhattans building together, you see in the finishing part, the LSG did well, but Gujarat were chasing a low total, though, so they didn't need much runs, so they chased it down. So if you look at the middle overs in the 8 and 12, so where LSG didn't play well, so at that same stage, Gujarat had very big overs of 16, 8, 8, and 9. So overall, GT were played very good and looked like a very strong team. Now let's go to the summary. So similar to the previous matches, LSG struggled with the bat. Their batting lineup might be forcing them to play conservative cricket, but that approach is not helping them in this season. They are kind of stuck in between attacking and keeping wickets in hand, and they are not finding the way out from it. Their lineup looks like a strong batting lineup, which is the opposition kind of fear. So they have a dangerous lineup, attacking lineup, but they are kind of forced to play in a conservative manner, which they, according to me, are not suited for the batter, especially those who can attack from ball one, and to make them play kind of conservative cricket is, I think, not a good way to go about. They scored just 18 runs in those 5 overs from 8 to 12, as we just saw in the Manhattan. And in the middle overs, Puran is also struggling with the bat. Today, they at least had an extra batting option in Ninde, the South African all-rounder, but still they were not able to put up a good score on the board. Their bowling is okay, it's good, but the batting is the main issue. They have not scored that many runs, and their run rate is just around 8 to 9. And I think they are having the lowest run rate so far this season. So I don't know why they have changed their last year's combination for the batting, especially in the top three. They only needed to find form in the middle order as the top order was scoring runs for them. They could have followed the similar template of Gujarat, in which they kind of want one of their top three to bat till the 15th over, and then they kind of score their runs with that approach. So I think LSG might have to follow similar kind of approach if they want to, take keep wickets in hand. Maybe Markram is some is a player who can do that kind of a role. Start with boundaries, low risk shots, try to stay in the middle, and the other batters can, take the bowlers. So they have to change their approach, what they are playing currently, and try to improve it if they want to make it to the playoffs. On the other hand, Gujarat are back to winning ways after losing their first two matches. Josh Butler and Gill scored 50s, and the bowlers Krishna again in the wickets column. So their bowling was outstanding. They restricted LSG better to a below par total. So Rabada was expensive for GT in this game as he went for 54 in his 4 overs, around 13.5 as the economy, where the next highest uh, economy was of Ashok Sharma, who went for 8 runs per over. In the last game, it was the other way around. Other GT fast bowlers went for over 10 runs per over, and Rabada bowled at the economy of 8 in the previous match. So their bowlers are kind of are also performing for GT, and their batters are also performing, especially the top orders. They kind of had a complete game in this match. They would have liked to finish the chase earlier with both the set batters, Gill and Butler on crease, but they will take this win and the 2 points for this match. Now let's look at the points table. So in the points table, you see Gujarat the fifth position with 2 wins and 2 losses out of 4 with 4 points and a run rate of 0.029, whereas LSG are just below them at sixth position again with 4 points out of 2 wins and 2 losses, and their run rate is slightly worse than GT with minus 0.427. And this both the teams are having the similar same points, and they are kind of just differentiated by their run rates. Now we'll look at the graphs. So with the points graph, if you see, if you look at GT, in the last 2 games, they have won the matches and got 2 points and moved to 4. And for LSG, if you see, they won their second and the third game and got 2 points, and now they've lost, remaining on 4 points after this match. So now if we go through the position graph, so the top four are not changed. They all remain in the same position. The change is for Gujarat, they have moved from 7th position to 5th position, whereas Lucknow has moved from 5th to 6th position, and SRH has moved from 6th to 7th position. So these are the only changes, and the bottom three teams have also maintain their positions. The only changes are in the middle, with Gujarat moving to the fifth position. So that's it in this video. Let me know your thoughts about this video in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.